a lot of pretty bad fuck ups when it comes to like how they've handled situations, primarily situations revolving like current events and revolving around current events and like civil unrest and a lot of other things. Yeah, exactly. What Agriel said is pretty right. It's just a long story. It's been a long path of a lot of mistakes leading to like where they're at now.
TSM will start off on the defense. They'll be looking at it.
I gave that guy his money back though. I could tell, by the way. Wait, did you ask a question, Dawn? I'm really not trying to ignore you. How do you think TSM feels? They played a lot today alone. How do you deal with being that tired in comp?
Composition from FaZe.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're probably pretty exhausted. Sometimes you just get really shitty like situations. Like you get in shitty spots because like that's just there's nothing you can do about it. You know, you just have to play. Yeah, there's really not much you can do as far as like dealing with it. Like if you're just exhausted because you've been playing a bunch already and you have to play more, you have to deal with it. You have to man up and push through. A lot of the time you do see matches end up being less competitive or less you know, less of a tight match than it maybe would normally be because one team has already played, you know, 1 or 2 matches before they even reach that match, whereas the other team is just fresh. And part of that, like some people you could say, oh, they're warmed up, right? This fucking just nonstop jumping classicing, bro. You know, yeah, you can debate like, oh, well, they should be warmed up because they've been playing a lot. But people don't realize, by the way, playing scrims or playing matches is significantly more exhausting than playing pugs. If you go play ranked for like 3 hours versus scrimming and playing matches for 3 hours, it's like night and day. You are way more like mentally focused and like an attack FPS game, especially a game like Valorant where it's pretty fast paced and you know, you don't start in your spawn, you start at the barriers, you fight right away. Since from the start of the fucking round, you're nonstop thinking and calming and moving and doing stuff and, you know, and reacting to things. And this shit goes on for however long the match is. The only breaks you get are when you're dead. And even then when you're dead, you might still be calming for your team. And if it's not when you're dead, it's, you know, during like the brief period in freeze times. But even in freeze times, your IGL is calling something. You're having to listen. You're having to pay attention. It's fucking exhausting, man, compared to a ranked game where like I'm fucking barely paying attention in ranked. You know, I'm just kind of doing whatever, having a good time, chilling, you know. Sometimes I'm calling, but like just regardless, it's night and day. It's way more exhausting playing or I would have used my paranoia if I was more just paranoia the cave from that box. And now they're really about to get ecoed. Why are we holding utility when we're already in a 3v3 situation, right? And we're about to get ecoed. Silly. Hey, Darnatello, thank you for the prime sub for 3 months in a row. 3 months total. Welcome back, my dude. How should you pronounce my name? Like Relyks. Just like the word relic, you know, R-E-L-I-C-S, the plural version. Multiple relics. Ancient relics that the Egyptians hid. Just like that. Not Relyks, not Relkis, not Reckles, like I'm an LCS player. Relyks. Preferably not Relyks either, you know, Relyks. It just flows off the tongue. What is my crosshair? Currently it's the same, it's whatever that command says, except it's 224 with outlines on. I might change it again though, I've just been fucking around. I feel like if Tarek was to swap over to Val, then he would probably be signed in a fat minute. Well, don't go so fast. If he was to switch to Val, EG would be selling him, bro. He's not a free agent. He's still contracted as a player to them, so they would be selling him to a Valorant org. Rather, they would be selling him to an org in Valorant, unless they themselves wanted to go into Valorant. And if that's the case, then EG might start their Valorant roster with Tarek if he wanted to switch, right? But if that wasn't the case and they weren't looking to invest into a new game, then
not blind aggression into a site, far more calculated. They've got 3 over on A, and they've
that's perfect. Relixathan, like Jonathan. I
Sprays through the
typically prefer
smokes.
being called Relyks, unless it's like
You also have to understand that this is the
a long time, like a friend, or if you're like a viewer or mod for a while, I wouldn't really mind if you called me my name. But people that like, you know, I've only seen like a couple times, or like we're not like, we don't really like know each other, you know, there's a reason my alias isn't my first name. It happens to be my first name backwards, but it doesn't mean I want strangers calling me my first name all the time, but I don't really care. No big
There's
deal.
Cutler wrapping around to
My
help
favorite
Drone
eco
with
buy?
that
The
angle.
Frenzy, bro. Probably.
Now the rest of FaZe will work up through the middle. I mean, this is not a round that we tend to expect FaZe 9 to come out on top, specifically since TSM won that
Bro,
eco.
that's okay, 11 teen. Don't apologize for not being able to attend streams, especially like if you're doing it for your schooling and to make sure you get good grades. That's way more of a priority than the streams, for sure.
Yeah, considerably, really. FaZe.
Yeah, a lot of pro players don't even play ranked. It's the same as in Counter-Strike. They play their team practice for 7 or 8 hours a day, and then when they're done, they're not playing ranked. They're playing WoW, or they're playing, you know, another game, Apex Legends, Tarkov, PUBG, Hearthstone, whatever, Magic the Gathering, Rocket League. There's a lot of games that pros play, but that's their free time, technically. You're not required to play outside of your team practice, and some people just don't enjoy it. And really, I would not blame a single person that's not playing ranked right now outside of their team practice, because the ranked is in such a shitty state in Valorant. Just to be honest with you, you know, I'm gonna keep it 100. It's terrible. The queue system is terrible. Rank inflation across the board. People in ranks they don't belong. Overall, bringing down the quality of games. Getting people in immortal lobbies that don't even know what a default is. You know, it's just in a really shitty state. I kind of have to force myself to play ranked. Sometimes it's really not that enjoyable. But hopefully that changes. If there's a delay in my mic audio, god damn it, it's just starting again. We fixed it yesterday. Try to refresh first and tell me if there's a delay. It happens with NDI, and it's really weird because it's never happened in any other streams I've done besides these watch party streams. Whenever I've been streaming and playing Valorant or Tarkov, the delay never starts, but sometimes the delay starts and the delay gets like slightly worse and worse as time goes on. It'll get like more and more delayed.
In fact, it's just a bit of noise that's being caused as you see them work their way towards B.
Do I think Viper is good enough to be in team comps, or she needs a buff? Both. I think maybe she could use a little buff, but I also think she is plenty good to be in team comps. Just a lot of teams just don't really utilize her. She's played on, you know, a couple maps. Oh my god. Affinitus, thank you for the prime sub. Welcome. That was a nice shot. That was a little jiggle one tappy right there. You see those?
Yeah, Yassine just dick on 3 people.
Whipped out his blank.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it.
Thank you again, Affinitus.
Full glory.
Those are the nicest ones. That third kill was just 100% like, didn't even touch his mouse. Just like jiggle one tap.
Goes in, drops the paranoia as Marv just looking for what he can find. Yeah, that's certainly going to hurt Drone.
All right, don't lose this round, TSM.
If his teammate got that dart out a little bit earlier.
The 103 from Cutler. The spike does go down.
Yeah.
And he's not going to get a kill.
If TSM loses this round, it would be sad.
Yeah.
V2. Marv.
Oh, he's holding it though. Let's go. I like how they just know. They just expect like him to push out of sight.
When Wardell's staring you down through the
That's how it looks like how they're playing. They literally just they wait for them to outplay themselves.
Give that ult point to. But man, it was really just Sabrosa. Like that is
Hold on, Shady. I'd have to think
It
about that
looks
in a
like-
second.
FaZe always feels like they have to make a play. And then so TSM's just kind of capitalizing off that.
And then he was able to get the third as well.
By the way, that second kill, he killed him with the dead zone. He killed him while he was still strafing, by the way.
To work with, but FaZe
I don't even think Tyson knows about this dead zone thing. That's why I think I'm gonna go change the priorities in the video that I want to make, and I think I'm gonna just more so talk about this dead zone issue, because I think it's a bigger problem than like just the running accuracy. Yeah, I can explain the dead zone thing too later, but a default is not the same all the time. A default is basically when you don't start, you know, on 5 at A to go hit the A site on attack. You don't go 5 in B main and get ready to hit the B site. Pretty much a default is when you spread the map and slowly work map control. So you might have 2 guys working B main on offense. You might have 2 guys working A main. You might have 1 guy holding mid. Your default could be one guy outside B who's just holding for a push, 3 guys A main, 1 guy mid. You could have 1 guy outside B, 1 guy outside A, and 3 guys middle. These are all different examples of defaults, but the idea is that you are spreading the map, holding for pushes on the periphery, excuse
I feel
me.
that with the jet daggers.
Yeah. You're taking map control and information away from the other team, getting map control for your team, right? So on offense, if you've taken B main and then you leave a guy there, and now you go back and take middle, the other team has no idea if you're in B main, what you're going to do middle. They don't know if you're regrouping B, regrouping A, you're going to do a B split through market. Maybe you're about to go hit cat. That's the idea behind the defaulting.
Yikes, man, that almost hurts.
Yeah, the jet whiff is sad sometimes, man. That's just a feels bad. Yeah, I know Curry, the CS player.
They had all the pieces that they wanted. They managed to get all the way through.
But there's a lot of
FaZe
different
always
types of
have this
defaults.
Or did they move?
And then there was that paranoia.
I have no idea. What server location are they playing?
I don't know. I swear they used to play on higher ping.
Well, this is not Texas because James has 40 ping, so this has to be like Chicago.
Oh, okay. We probably just played Texas against them.
Yeah, we did, I think. So this has to be like, what, maybe Denver or Chicago? I wonder.
It's a good early
Denver,
start as
probably.
well. Knowing
If it was, if it was Texas, Mr. Cobb would have 5 ping.
But they're gonna find one on the opposite side as TSM have pulled off this B side. They want to fight for this mid control.
My God,
They
my
find
neck.
Marv.
But yeah, and default is not necessarily just one thing. Like, yeah, default's also a call out. A default call out usually just means whatever you would think the default plant position would be on the bomb site. So like on Ascent, like default at A, a lot of people just call like the box, or sorry, default at B, they just call it like the boxes. Default at A, a lot of people just call like the same, the double stack boxes in sight. On bind, some teams refer to, like, call default as like the triple box plant, and then the other plant is truck. Yeah, but default is normally, it's just like a plant spot is usually what that call out means. Oh my. How are they just, do they just really think? I'm confused.
What a crazy play.
Drone probably said he was holding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, someone just must have thought that that was covered because there's no way they were just unaware like that.
And of course the camera is Zachary's. That's the running back. Guess who's posted up there? It's Corey.
Hey, I appreciate that, Park. What ping do I get on Chicago? Like 20 to 30 probably on average. Which is weird. Feels like I should get less. Teams trash talk in chat occasionally, but not as much as you think.
And you got a shock on the dome.
Yeah, I saw that. The actual chat, like, is usually like nice shot, or like if someone is confused, they'll be like, "How? Where did you come from?" You know, like people are polite. They'll answer. They'll be like, "Oh, I flinked middle," or like whatever it is. No, didn't need to stop moving. Yep. He knows.
He just running shot.
I mean, that's so close. You got to do it, right?
Yeah.
1.72 seconds.
You gotta love the
on
running
clock.
headshot.
Hazed again. I feel like there have been so many times, Simo, that we've called Hayes doing stuff like that.
Is it just me, by the way? I don't know. Maybe it's because I come from CS, but like, he's like 1.27 or whatever, 1.72 seconds left on the clock, as if that's not a lot of time. I don't consider that a close defuse. Like, I don't know if that's just me. For me, a close defuse is like with a second or less. When you get a defuse with 0.7 or 0.8 or something, you know? But that's like almost 2 seconds. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being like too nitpicky. Are a lot of pros against the running headshots? What do you mean? It is a BO5. This is the 4th map. It's currently 2-1 for TSM, so if TSM wins, it'll be over. The maps were Haven, Bind, Ascent, and now, sorry,
Look at this.
Haven, Bind, Split, and now we're on Ascent, and if TSM or if FaZe ties it, then we'll go back to Split. So it was Haven, Bind, Split, Ascent, Split. Those are the 5 maps.
And already it's starting to pay off.
Imagine he alt-tabbed. Oh my god, he'd be freaking out. Why not Icebox? Because Icebox is not in this qualifier. Icebox is not in the game until the main event. So instead, we just play one map twice.
Way over towards A, but they've lost so much at this point. It's not like it's going to be an easy task. There's not.
I had a 0.01 second defuse, bro. Here, actually, I'll go find it for you. I think that was. I mean, that's probably like the closest it can be, right?
The jumping classics.
Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna go find it because I don't know even where it is. It's probably so far back in my media.
I still liked what was happening on the opposite side of the map. Sabrosa finds a player looking for an orb. A little too confident. You know, it's the eco. Might as well try. See what happens. Then Relyks shows up as well and takes out Sabrosa. So still, the damage has been done by FaZe. Look at the economy. Cutler's at 8,300. Has there really been damage done? Yeah, Drone's feeling the pain, but a lot of players can buy for him.
Wait,
And
was this
Wardell
really
at
before
77
my
lost the op. Let's look at this round. FaZe clan looking towards the
Here,
B
I found the
side.
clip.
No mid
I'll show you
presence
guys
this time
later.
around.
Just for fun.
Sabrosa and Drone have cooked up with this orb
There's a
control.
0-0. I think I saw that on
I
Reddit.
like the side of Baby Bay.
Was it Average
Short
Jonas?
barrier
Yeah.
around through the cages.
The main event starts
So,
December
now the
3rd.
Drone is going to be there, the tip of the spear, as they try to work their way on. But who else but Drone?
I'm not
On the
excited
other
for
side.
Icebox and Dernies.
Oh man, Baby Bay's going to get pushed back. I like that smoke, but the Roomba's there too. He just has no choice. There's just utility everywhere. Baby Bay drops. Zachary does as well. FaZe just down to 3.
It's looking like TSM is trying to close it out here.
Trying to help them.
Why doesn't he blast pack? Sabrosa should have blast packed in the window and shot the
Dude, I
rocket.
literally
Yeah, what
just
is he?
did that.
What is he?
If he did that, he would have got 2 kills.
Come on, man. I gotta teach this guy some things on rate. And I'm kidding. Well, who am I to talk? Not even in the fucking tournament anymore. Come on, fucking
I feel that.
feels fucking bad, man.
Yeah, this just got so much harder.
Oh my god, a huge kill from Corey here. Gonna be coming out of market on the Reyna. Now in a 2v3 situation. Is he gonna blink over Drone's face and spawn? Let's see. Oh, that was aim lab right there.
Oh,
Saw he
oh my God,
he
you got the
dinked the orb through the wall.
Damn, he's taking this fight.
Oh, he killed. Did you see how he killed him strafing away, bro?
Yeah.
God, I hate it. I hate whenever I see someone die as they're like running into a fucking different direction. What the
Dude,
fuck, bro?
Please, I wanted that to work.
If he headshot him in the air there, I might have stopped watching.
Now TSM will lead by 6.
If he ADS there, that was 100% a kill.
Yeah, let's watch my clip just for fun. Just because I went and found it. I know, we now know there is a 0-0. Hello. You guys can enjoy the Twitter video clip quality. It's really great stuff.
Last player standing.
Look how old this is, bro. There's not even a Shadow Realm yet. It's just like the normal Omen smokes. Why is this I hate the Twitter video player, man. It's so fucking low. This might be the beta. I don't remember. Yeah, it is the beta, I guess. Came out in June, right?
No, I didn't press 4 right away. I pressed V instead.
0.01. Wow.
To work with here, but my gosh, there's so much aggression from TSM. They can smell blood in the water.
Wardell's gonna trade one out on this A side aggression. Baby Bay goes in. He almost loses that fight to Hayes. Down to 89. He's gonna find another, but Cutler is gonna find so much value. It's down to the 2v2. They're using the run it back to find even more as Sabrosa takes down Raucus.
Is James okay with the op or no?
80 HP with 10 armor.
I've never seen him op before.
I actually don't remember when I've seen him pick up an op.
Yeah, I think it's always like, I think like Eastine pulls out an op.
Oh, I wonder if they've ever fixed the game, by the way. Do you guys know that the Phantom appears in 3 different ways in Valorant?
Josh picked up an op.
3 completely separate ways? Yeah, I do. I'm never fucking picking up this gun again.
TSM rotates off. He can go ahead and rotate off. He just has plenty to work with. Also, as you mentioned, has that blade storm.
The Phantom appears differently in the buy menu, and then it appears differently in the kill feed.
And it's not like they have a ton of info. What
And,
TSM is doing is they understand they have
Is
the
Drone
personnel
sitting
advantage,
outside the
so
door?
even if Baby Bay does
Yeah,
pull
no.
now, they're comfortable playing for the retake. Baby Bay stuck around.
Unless they
long
fixed
able
it.
to get the best of them. TSM
Here,
have
hold
7-round lead.
Here, I'll show you. Let's look it up.
3 rounds remain, and finally we see that some of that economy continue to break. FaZe Clan managed to get 2 gun rounds in a row, so now this is the eco. Some of these rushes on the eco have been very deadly to TSM, knocking down some of that economy ever so slightly. But it's really just
They might have fixed it. Oh, in the combat report. The Phantom in the buy menu, the combat report, and the kill feed used to be 3 different icons.
Let's look for mid control on this eco.
But they fixed one of them. They fixed it a long time ago, I guess, actually.
See what we can find with it.
But I think it still might have a different icon. But they did fix the combat report one. Yeah, the one in the buy menu used to have no suppressor on it. It looked like a scar. The Phantom is actually based on I think the scar and
Have backed off just a bit. They've
like the gun model.
for FaZe to work with. But again, FaZe here on the eco, they don't have a ton.
The next character that's going to go into meta, Sky.
Hear that owl drone. Sabrosa, pay attention to the flank around the B main side. He's gotten a lot of ground. Paranoia stops the tree room push temporarily, but they're actually going to push up through garden.
FaZe playing slow, no way. I'll turn it up a bit.
Now that the smoke is down, Baby Bay just trying to get active. He's going to go up close and
Oh,
personal, but they still manage to
uh-oh.
stop the bleeding.
Oh, no way
There's
we're
one
missing
player left.
that.
Relyks down on the site. Wardell stop the push from the tree room. The spikes up right by the window. Rocket's flash, jump peek there from Wardell.
See, this is the thing though. Like, an all-star team is not necessarily like going to work. Look at almost every esport you've ever seen. You know, there's more than, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you don't see all these star players on one team. But if you think about it, it's not necessarily just going to work. Like,
Yeah, it's just been very difficult.
excuse me, I
Right,
keep,
Raucus has got himself a decent map, 10-9, but by and
you
large,
know,
the rest of the members
like,
of FaZe have
if you took
struggled to
in Counter-Strike and you just put fucking Nico and Simple and Zywoo and like 2 other fucking stars on the same team, that does not necessarily mean that they're gonna work and like they're gonna play, you know, like super well together.
This is an aggressive
People need to make sacrifices. You know, there are support players. There's people that do the jobs that other people don't want to do. Not everyone can just run around and frag out.
managed to survive. In the meantime,
So if I was making an all-star Valorant team, I don't think I would just go put like the 5 best players I could think of on the team. I would probably mix it up.
See anyone in the wine cellar? Doesn't see anyone in A main.
And I'm not exactly sure what kind of team I would
TSM
make.
still holding on to this B site. Marv has gotten quite deep though. Can he find some lurking frags?
Yeah, Marv has
I'm
the
just thinking.
opportunity really to be devastating here with his positioning, but he's gonna get spotted. But FaZe continue to get possibilities, right? Like they continue to get set up in a position where they.
We've seen examples in Counter-Strike where they try to make these teams of just full of star players and they don't ever do very well. I think the most recent example was something like FaZe, Goldzera, and Nico previously, obviously. Goldzera, Nico, who else was on that team? Rain.
Felt safe to pull back a little bit. Zachary is just trying to be a problem on the B side.
Yeah, it's looking like,
Planted.
it is indeed looking like
He's now coming
TSM
over the heaven side.
is
Anticipate this. It's a 4v3 retake.
in the driver's seat here.
And now they'll see
He's
what
trying to
Zachary
run
was
and shoot,
for. A
bro.
drone in a good spot to hold the line here as well. Now look who's Hayes. He's coming from behind Raucus as well, and who's late to the party? It's Zachary. He needs to get here quick. His TSM are going to funnel onto the site.
No, he's got the operator, but he's gonna get smoked off, and he's gonna get burned at the crisp, just down to 45 health. Has no choice but to go in, and he's met with the warm, welcoming arms.
Isn't it behind that site spot spammable?
Again, like, so FaZe have shown when they get onto the site, they place high priority.
Talking about the boxes right here?
Heavy control. If
Talking about the plan, like the default plan? It depends where someone diffuses. You can kind of line yourself up with like the metal and make it really hard to spam you from A main.
Okay.
You can spam the green, of course, but if someone plants like right in the center, I think you can like diffuse and like look straight down and kind of line yourself up with the metal. It's easier to spam from the side, you know, of your door. But I think from A main, it's hard.
it's they've almost made it look easy.
Yeah, you can spam the green with like a Vandal or a Phantom, but if they're lined up with the metal, you can't spam that unless you have, you know, heavy.
They just do our strat?
Yeah, they did the Vision Strikers. Can't believe
It's
them.
actually not our strat, but
They just use our strat, which wasn't even our strat?
yeah, they used our strat, which our strat came from someone else's strat, but now it's also their strat.
This is looking like it's gonna be a quick one.
It's going to be this one for FaZe Clan.
And here's the thing too about.
All right, good luck with your
TSM,
homework,
so
Storm.
we're
Have a good
talking
one.
And that's been the narrative the entire time, right? FaZe, they like to play aggressive. How does TSM respond with triple duelists? Blah blah blah. Force against force.
People gotta understand, man. Stuff on paper doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna work in,
Do you think
in
when they
practice.
run that strat, do they think they call it the C9?
No, they probably just call it the Vision Strikers too. Unless like if they never knew that they did it and they saw us do it, then like if somehow they're just completely ignorant, then maybe, you know. I thought that was funny because like I went to a team in CS once where they were calling a strat like by a name, and I was like, that's not even like that team that you're calling the strat by. I stole it from another team. Like they were calling it like some tier 2 EU team, like a Mad Lions or something, and like they stole it from like Mouse Sports.
Oh.
Let's do Mad Lions, and I'm like, do you mean Mouse Sports? Oh, shit.
Spike because it's in a tough
Hiko, are you
Meantime,
kidding me?
Odell comes
Do I see what
in and
Rocket said to
control this
Wardell on
A-side.
Twitter?
FaZe Clan have no idea
Don't
there
think
has
so.
been any action towards this attacker spawn.
What games did they come from? Every player on TSM came from Counter-Strike. The players on FaZe, Marv's came from Counter-Strike. Raucus and Corey came from Overwatch. Zachary came from Overwatch, I think, right? Zachary came from Overwatch too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Shanks is not on a team.
Yeah, that 5-man push through B main on the pistol definitely threw TSM
What game did
off.
Baby Bay come from? Apex?
And they also responded from
I have no
FaZe
idea. That's what I was
Overwatch?
asking. Is it also Overwatch?
TSM. I
Okay.
saw some
There's
of the
4 of them.
Yeah,
for
so 4 Overwatch,
Rockets,
1 CS
Corey,
player.
Zachary, Baby
faster
Bay.
than
Yeah.
TSM members who were in the A lobby, and I understand they were just a little unsure. Once Drone saw like 4 players there, that should have
Hey,
been a
what up,
dead
Jix
giveaway.
Jax?
Okay, this A side's free, let's
Appreciate
try to
that.
get real estate early.
Shanks is not on the
It's
team. Shanks is just
unfortunate
ringing.
because Spike was in a little bit of a tougher spot.
It's pretty much a team of 5 CS players versus a team of 4 Overwatch players and 1 CS player. That's what this match is. But now they're all Valorant players, bro. That's the thing. People always talk about this
Oh,
shit.
there it is.
And people want to be elitist. There it is. There it is. Took that one from me. Calls that the Relyks nade a bit. Oh, good night.
Oh,
But yeah, people always, they want to be like ego and they want to be like this and that. It's like, yes, bro. Like the most of the professional Valorant scene is currently made of CS players. Not necessarily pros. Marv was never a pro, but CS pros and semi-pros and whatever. But I think that it doesn't matter. You can be good at Valorant from any game. There's good players from Overwatch. There's good players from CS. There's good players from, you know, from Apex. Like your background is important, sure. But it's really only important in the very beginning. As long as you are like a high level esports professional and you know what it takes to be the best and you go put the time in to learn the new game, you know, and like whatever, you can adapt. If you're someone, I mean, if you are an adaptable person and you learn quickly and you can break your bad habits from the previous game you came from, bring whatever knowledge helps you in the new game and then learn the new game, you're in a good spot. Dicey came from Krunker, I think. I think Defran will come to Val. Didn't Defran literally like stream a shit ton in the beta and then decide to become a potato farmer or something? Like, I know Defran was an Overwatch player, but I'm pretty sure Defran was pumping out Valorant content for a large period and then he like stopped to become a farmer. He was already like, already came to Val. Shinobi was a Counter-Strike player, not Overwatch.
there it is.
Is he streaming again? See, I had no idea. I never really watched Defran very much. This is really quiet. I didn't realize.
Very quickly here.
Yeah, it's a tough round.
Would the Phantom be
especially
used in
how
CS instead of
it was played out
AK?
Despite going in blind, Drone able to
What do you mean? The Phantom is basically the
transition to
M4,
that
and
second
the
kill.
Vandal
Now
is
it's
the
up to FaZe
AK.
Clan.
Like,
Spectres and
comparatively.
Joe, hardware
Want to
less
switch to
than ideal.
Krunker? Nope.
One
Not
player in
even
the tree room,
1%.
one up in heaven. Oh,
I'd
there's
rather
the
play
Angels. They know
Minecraft
where
all
Marv
day.
is. He actually escapes even with the heavy armor. Now
No,
can
it's all good, bro.
reposition
I'm not
Zachary.
mad. I'm just letting you know.
Molotov will stop him for now. Zachary will join him. Above.
Most CS players in Valorant are like 2 years away from dying of old age. I don't know about that.
And knows what is cooking. He does
Like,
get
when
smoked
we're
out.
talking about CS, we were talking about this yesterday. I sort of pulled I pulled this like arbitrarily out of my ass, but like I think like right now of North American Valorant, if we're not looking at EU, like 60 to 70% of pro players are CS players, and out of that 60 to 70, maybe like 10%
Maybe you
are
should look
like,
at Twitter to see if it gets spoiled.
I see, maybe like 10% of them are like old. But that's the great thing about esports, guys. I know people like to fucking like to fucking shit talk boomers and, you know, like all of this. Like, you're a fucking old man, Hiko and Steel and Hazed and Cutler, like all this fucking shit. But we don't really know the age limit, guys. We really don't know the age limit when it comes to esports. For all you know, Hiko's still gonna be fucking 180ing people in 10 fucking years, right? Steel will still be a fucking top IGL in the next 5 years. Like, age is, I think, less of a factor in esports than
Did
traditional
Drone just
sports.
full running headshot that guy?
It looked like it. I had it muted, so I couldn't tell, but...
Things falling apart here for FaZe.
What's old? I mean, I don't give a fuck, bro. People want to call me a boomer. I'm 25. When I'm saying old, I'm talking about the people that are already like 30. But even then, seriously, I really don't like age. Esports is so new that we've not seen like pros in the older age besides like certain games where they retire or they become a coach or something. But that might be because they're tired of playing, not because they're not good enough anymore.
Spots him out. Wardell knows the shot's not gonna connect. Now the classic. Time is ticking for Baby Bay. There goes
He missed every dagger.
good Baby
Not that it
Bay.
matters. He's gotta kill him right now.
Up
Uh-oh.
to Cutler. Knives go through. Spike is ticking.
This guy has not been able to hit a get a right click kill all day.
Up and down, but Cutler is buying time. There's the tailwind. Cutler. Oh
GG.
my goodness, but there's no.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that's what people consider old. Think about it like this, bro. These 15-year-old kids, these 16-year-old kids, anyone that's older than them, they call a boomer. It's no longer like the actual definition of baby boomer. It just turned into a fucking meme. So now all these kids, anyone's a boomer if they're older. You could be 18 years old and you're a fucking boomer to that 15-year-old kid. Fucking old man. Better, I don't know what I was gonna say.
Is Sentinels first round of the tournament then, right?
What's the difference?
FaZe does? Yeah, I think so. FaZe plays Sentinels and TSM plays Renegades. That was my understanding of like the
And they just
The
ran
seeding.
out of time. Let's get Reflections back in here.
but they're gonna interview someone from TSM. They did Sub Rosa earlier. Surely they're gonna like get Wardell in here or something.
You know what? It's
We
like
can
this,
listen.
right? FaZe,
It's like this, right?
so
Let's hear what he
many
has to
times
say.
We're in the perfect moment to win a round or to turn things around, and then they would miss a blade storm, right? I mean, for example, you know, that first one that was missed, right? Whenever they were trying to push over onto B was just heartbreaking because it was
Baby
almost
Bay
like they
got
were trying
banned for
not
hacking in the
to
in
play
CS.
from
I think that is true actually. I don't want to back that up without any proof, but I'm like relatively sure I heard the same thing, or maybe I knew that before.
Close, but it was just constantly
1 second.
missing opportunities, you know. And look, hats off to them. I mean, I think they played that very well. It's just
The youngest boomer is like 56. Yeah, technically, baby boomers are people that were born in like the like what was it, like 40s to 60s or something like that. Like that's like the technical definition. But it's just become like a fucking, you know, it's become an internet pop culture meme thing because of, you know, okay, boomer, or like whatever the fuck the chick, what's her name?
most likely breaks onto
Fuck, what is her name? Isn't she like a content creator for 100 Thieves now? Nico, lol. Yeah. I'm 25. But truthfully, guys, I know like people want to meme it and they're like, you're only saying this because you're fucking old. They're like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care if you're 10 years old or 30 years old. And it doesn't matter if you think I'm old or not. It's not going to change anything about my life. But compared to like traditional sports, athletes reach the ends of their careers as they start getting older because of impossible to avoid physical deterioration and accumulation of injuries. Specifically, they lose their speed. You know, a lot of them, it's really losing speed and like stamina. It's not that they lose their technique. You know, go watch someone like Ronaldinho, like late into his career in football. Like he's still incredibly skilled, fucking talented as shit, but he's just doesn't have the stamina anymore, right? Doesn't have the speed, the explosive speed. But when you're looking at non-traditional, non-physical sports, so when you look at stuff like chess, fucking esports, darts, like whatever else you want to pull it out, it's way more mental games than they are physical games. So I think the lifetime of a pro player is not only completely figured out, but it's just sort of uncertain. Like we are just now reaching a point in esports that pros are even hitting the early 30s and stuff. Because really esports is, you know, infantile, especially if you compare it to traditional sports. So, and the thing is, yes, like reflexes, you know, might get slower with age or whatever sort of scientific changes happen there. But we talked about this before, man. Reflexes do not make up a large part about what makes a good fucking pro player. There are so many fucking variables. Like think about the fact that as you get older and you have more and more experience, that means that your game sense is improving. That means that your understanding of the game and your knowledge is improving. Maybe you're losing a little reflex or reaction time. But even if that's the case, like that's not even like that really is not a major part